So before we move on to that next part of what he's going to say, I think it's very important to really digest what he just said right there. I think we all have that. That first and foremost, a beautiful quote, and I can't remember who said it myself, and I'll eventually find it and then I'll try to link it so y'all know who it is verbatim. But y'all get the sentiment. This is so important because it doesn't just apply. This applies to anybody, right? If you don't, especially if there's spaces where you usually don't see people who may look like you or may sound like you or have the same interests as you. If you really think about it, this is the human experience. This is what we do as human beings. We have boundaries, we have limits, and we break them. What's up, everybody? It's your man with the plan, and I'm back with another video. And today, oh yeah, you can see the thumbnail, you can read that title. But before we get into this video, man, make sure you like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell so you're notified of my uploads weekly, because I weekly upload my videos. Go to that comment section. Make sure you request anything that you want me to react, review, talk about. Put that down there for me. I appreciate it. This is a community-based channel, and I'm trying to engage with the community. So help me out. I appreciate everybody who joined me. Salute to the Creek Squash. Salute to everybody who's joining me from the Up Church video. I appreciate everybody joining me. Hope you guys can find something else on the channel that maybe took your fancy. I'll have different playlists in this card above. Obviously, I know what you're here for ultimately. And that's okay, man. You come here with what you want to come here for. I'm not here to sway you either way. I'm just here to make you aware of what's here. So, also, before we get into this reaction, make sure you go into the description. Follow me on Twitch. I'm getting back into streaming on a more consistent basis, Saturday to Sundays. Just started a Miles Morales stream series on there, and I'm doing Destiny 2. Just finished the Witch Queen campaign, and we're getting to that grinding, getting to that cap, that hard or that soft cap, so we can start doing some rating and whatever over there on that. So before this is going to be a little bit of a different type of video, guys. We just had Up Church released Next to Red, and a lot of y'all came over there. Shout out to Up Church for even tagging my video. He didn't have to do that, but I think the reason why he did that is because he understands that you have to have conversations. You have to be able to hear people. You also have to be able to talk to people and understand people's mindset and understand why people do the things that they do, even if you don't agree with it necessarily. Even if you don't agree with it necessarily. And I think it's important to be able to look at things for what they are. Take yourself, and you're always going to have a bias. That's just what it is. You're human. I'm human. We're always going to have a subjectivity to us. But it's important to understand that you have that and try to keep it in check, so when you are absorbing different content, that you can actually look at it for what it's meant to be, not for what you feel it is. And I think we are on the cusp of being able to have more discussions like that in this country. We need more content and discussions like that in this country between different people from different walks of life. And I'm a West Coast brother. I got roots in the South though, so shout out to my country folks. So, and I love everybody. So I'm always trying to uplift and empower people. So, with this video, we're gonna react and respond to his inspirational video for the reason he came up with it's called Hops Redneck, but obviously this is like the precursor to why he eventually made the song that he did. So with that being said, let's get into this reaction.
I don't remember where I heard it, but one time I heard somebody say, you don't know that you can do something or achieve something until someone who looks like you achieves it or does it first. And even though I don't know who said it, or even when I heard it, it stuck with me for a long time. A select few of my songs are inspired by that quote, because when I sit down and I write, I'm thinking about like 1,000 things, but during some songs I write, that one thing pops up and it replays in my head and it changes the dynamic of the song. One of those songs being Holler Boys, another one being Dirty South, another one being White Lightning, and a recent one being Next to Red. When I get in this certain mindset of writing a song, such
So before we move on to that next part of what he's going to say, I think it's very important to really digest what he just said right there. I think we all have that, that first and foremost, a beautiful quote. And I can't remember who said it myself. And I'll eventually find it and then I'll try to link it so y'all know who it is verbatim, but y'all get the sentiment. This is so important because it doesn't just apply. This applies to anybody, right? If you don't, especially if there's spaces where you usually don't see people who may look like you or may sound like you or have the same interests as you. If you really think about it, this is the human experience. This is what we do as human beings. We have boundaries, we have limits, and we break them, right? Nobody was breaking 4 minute mile, right? Remember, there was a time where running a sub 4 minutes in a mile was impossible. Nobody, what? You'll die. That's literally the thought process. And then the cat came along and just did it. He trained. He said, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna rub sub 4. And then when he did it, now you're seeing everybody doing it. Everybody's sub 4. All the elites are running sub 4 minutes. And it's just crazy. And it is something that, it's really important to be on your purpose, not just for you, but for those around you, because you never know who you can inspire. And I think that's what Upchurch is leading into with this next segment. Let's go ahead and get into that.
such as Next to Red, I'm thinking about the people who are listening to the song. Not only am I thinking about those people, I'm imagining who they are, what they look like, what are they
Right.
driving in, what are they going to do,
Right.
where do they live. And like while I'm envisioning it, it makes me see the similarities in the audience that's going to be listening to the song and me and my friends. How we grew up, our childhood, things we like to do, hobbies,
Yep.
how we treat our families, how we
Yep.
treat our friends, struggles we may have gone through that are similar.
Yep.
Anything that involves this atmosphere. I even think about, how people have shit on me over the years and how a young kid who might have a dream of being a rapper or a singer or whatever, and coming from the middle of nowhere,
Right.
ending up like me with fucking shitty done tattoos all over me and stuff,
Right.
like, what about that kid? There's two types of musicians. There's the kind that want to get rich and love being what everyone wants them to be. And that's fine. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. But there's other ones who don't care what anyone thinks. They don't care about money. They care about something that money could never buy. Something that changes somebody's life. Not just their banking account or their wallet or their image. My whole image this whole time has been I don't have an image. Because I don't want one, nor do I need one. With me, I'm not trying to build an audience. I'm trying to let an audience know that I'm here. Whoever that audience is.
And I said this on the next to red reaction that I did. Go ahead and check that out. But I said it. I said he's not this. He doesn't do this for clout. He does this generally for other people. And I love what he just said right there. He's not trying to build a community. He's just trying to tell people that I'm here. And ultimately, by being authentic to himself, by being true to himself, and being on his purpose, and being intentional with the things that he's doing, and more importantly, being intentional and purposeful with the people that he's doing it with. I've always said this. Life is about relationships. He's able to be grounded into what he's doing. And because of that, he's a beacon, right? He's not trying to tell you to conform or tell you to what to do or build around a faulty foundation. He's being true to himself, and he's saying, hey, I'm here, and if you want to rock with me, you can rock with me. I got you. And if not, you don't, deuces, chuck them. You know what I mean? So that, in essence, that's where I respect that Upchurch. That's That's true arts to me, is being able to block out all the noise and stay intentional with your artwork and staying true with your artwork. That's where the most authentic, most potent art comes from. So I articulated in the other video. To hear him confirm that is just, man, that's huge. Respect.
No matter how big or small that audience is. The best way I can explain it is I'm kind of just standing over here being like, hey, Bo, I got you. Watch this. I'm finna do this. They say I can't. Watch me do me. Fucking. No stunt doubles. And that's
Facts.
ultimately
Yeah.
what made me write Next to Red. It's because I wanted to let the rednecks know that I'm not ashamed of being put in this group called rednecks or country motherfuckers or mountain men or whatever it is you want to call it. You know, people try to make fun of me all the time about it, but I feel sorry for that person
Facts.
because I'm just being exactly what I want to be. You know, you can say whatever you want to me. I'm embracing what I am. I mean, look at the music industry. The
Man.
dream of the music industry is to sign to a record deal, right? That's the big dream. I got signed by this person. Now, when getting signed is an idea, what's the first sentence that someone says? Oh, well, to get signed, you have to, have to, have to. You don't
Right.
have to do nothing. You can build an image for yourself all day long, but the image is breakable. If you are what you are and your image is just what you are, that's when you're indestructible. Not only that, the message of the song in the entirety is showing someone else they can be exactly who they are and achieve what they want regardless of what anyone says. And how you
I like that. I like what he's saying right there, because it's important to understand that what he just said, like that last piece is huge. If you are who you are, and if you're not worried about trying to build an image, and you are who you present yourself to be, you never have to worry about that image crumbling, because you're not portraying anything. You are being you. And it takes a lot of balls to to be yourself authentically and and purely without any intentions of trying to gain anything. Like, you're just being you, right? And you're being authentic to yourself and to those around you. And that's what he's doing. He's being authentic to himself and those around him. He's like, I'm not ashamed of this. I'm not ashamed of y'all. And I'm telling you, man, there's power in that. Owning your own image, owning your own having agency, having choice, and being true to yourself, man. It reminds me of, if you guys ever watched 8 Mile, one of my favorite movies of all time, hip hop movies of all time. Why that movie was so iconic was that last segment when he was going against the Free World and he was just rapping against Papa Doc, and he just started, yeah, God did jump me, and True did fuck my girl, but I'm still standing here screaming, fuck fuck the free world. That's hard, because this is what it is. I am trailer trash. I am, you know what I'm saying? Like, he don't care. What are you gonna do to me that I haven't already done to myself? And then Captain America was just sitting there like, and shout out to Anthony Mackie, but he couldn't do anything. He had no ammo because he didn't. You had nothing. You had nothing for him, and there's power in that. Owning your image and being true to yourself. And he's a good example of that. And I don't want to continue rambling on, but I just want to shout him out for that.
He's supposed to show people they can do that without you being yourself and everything everyone else calls you. So let's get on with the symbolism. In the video, you see me wearing a Confederate soldier outfit. They say my neck was too red. Because that's one of the things I get knocked for whatever reason. It doesn't even have to do nothing with any military uniforms or anything. A lot of times people are like, oh, the South lost, you fucking hillbilly, and all this other shit. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put it on, fucking. I'm gonna put this Confederate soldier outfit on, and I'm gonna rap, and I'm gonna sing to you. You'll get the people that see imagery and shut it down and make a bunch of false assumptions. And then you'll get the more intelligent person that will listen to the lyrics and see that the message is for everyone. Now, I can't be everyone, but I can be me. So on to the next thing. A lot of people were like, who's they? Who is they?
Yeah, I mean, again, I have no. To me, the imagery with that told me it was just a paying homage, right? It's a callback, right? He was in the battle. He was spitting out blood. He was, you know, just he was in the fight, telling his story, and part of that story and part of his roots happens to be, he's ties to the Confederacy. Now, I have my own opinions on that, but it doesn't take away from the. I understand what he's trying to do, and I didn't like when I saw. Like, oh my God, he's wearing a Confederate suit. I'm like, I get it. You know what I'm saying? He's paying homage to his roots. As you should, and I don't have the energy to really care that much. The Confederate flag and the Confederacy is very one of those situations that could be his own video I can make and have a real conversation about that. And I'm not triggered by it. There is just facts based on the experiences of people who are living today, not slavery, but living today, that that don't necessarily have or want those ties. But that's not their story, and that's okay. Their experience is valid. His experience is valid, and it doesn't take away from his story, and it doesn't make him a racist. It doesn't make him whatever these terms you want to throw out there on him. It's just his experience. So for me as a black man, I may not agree with, he wasn't waving the flag around, but I mean, he obviously doesn't care about the Confederate flag, and I don't have energy to really care about it, but I understand why there are people who would otherwise be in contention to that, for very very valid reasons, not having anything to do with slavery, but everything to do with like Jim Crow and segregation that was like 60 years ago.
Any white man in the world says, give me liberty or give me death, the entire white world applauds. When a black man says exactly the same thing, he is judged a criminal and treated like one, and everything possible is done to make an example of this bad nigger so there won't be any more like him.
The story of the Negro in America is the story of America. It is not a pretty story.
Most of the white Americans I've ever encountered, sure, they have nothing whatever against Negroes. That's really not the question. Really a kind of apathy and ignorance. You don't know what's happening on the other side of the wall because you don't want to know.
In America, I was free only in battle, never free to rest.
We need to take action, any kind of action, by any means necessary.
They needed us to pick the cotton, and now they don't need us anymore. Now they don't need us, they're going to...
Literally our lifetime, grandmothers, aunties. My mom grew up in that environment, so it's not like motherfuckers was like long gone. It's literally still fresh within our country's our country's existence. So that's just, you just can't get away from that. Now, does that mean I'm gonna see a Confederate flag and lose my shit or start calling you racist? Or no, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, maybe you just don't have people in your life who have the experiences they do when they see that. That's okay, and that's not a crime. And the only way you can know these things is if you have conversations.
Who are you talking about? Sounds kind of suspicious, somebody said. No, because when I'm saying they said, that's anybody who said it. Not just one type of person. Next to red. You think only white people is rednecks? No. There's black rednecks, there's Spanish rednecks, there's gangster rednecks, there's all kind of rednecks. The term redneck didn't even start in America. Did you know that? I did, which is why I put the symbolism of the red rag tied around the neck. Notice it's not a bandana, it's a shop rag. It's just a red cloth rag, because that was a symbolism of people who were called rednecks way back in the day. And by the way, it wasn't nowhere around here, not even in the United States. It was way back in the 1600s in Scotland.
Most people think redneck has to do with sunburned necks. But in fact, it actually starts in the 1600s during a religious war in Scotland. Protestant rebels signed manifestos in their own blood and then wore a red cloth around their necks to signify their rebellion. From there, redneck evolved to mean any Scottish Presbyterian. It only became a slur later, when thousands of Scots-Irish Presbyterians arrived in America, where they weren't completely welcomed by the original English settlers. And that's just one example of a good old country expression that's popularly misunderstood.
And I used that as symbolism in the video.
Yeah, for sure. And I like that. I think that's dope. I think what he said is absolutely true. You don't redneck isn't just white people, it's people who live that experience. I you'd be surprised. You'd be very, very surprised. But I've been, well, just let's say I've been grouped and told based on how I grew up that I act white or like a redneck or, you know, whatever the case may be, just because of the things I like and who my family is. Now, origin story, I have a white family who many of them will call themselves rednecks. And that's just what it is. I love them dearly. I'm not going to not claim them or not act like they don't exist or pretend that isn't part of my origin story, because it is. And I have black family, I have Spanish family, my girlfriend is Mexican. So I literally have family from all over the spectrum. And you get it from both sides, man. If you don't conform to something, people will look at you like, "What? Why aren't you conforming?" But when you just live your life and you stay 10 toes down, you're going to upset some people, but then you're also going to inspire a lot more. That's what church is doing. Shout out to church.
For a blowtorch, when no Scotch torch. Because, I mean, okay, sure, you want to call me a redneck, think it's an insult? You don't even know about what you are calling me. So go ahead. Hell, I like when people call me that. It's reminding everybody what I am, and look how far I got being this. Not only that, this song and video is a narrative killer. It kills the narrative, man, and I'll tell you how. Because if you look in the comments and you see what people say, like, for instance, people were being like, "Oh, you fucking blah, 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 you racist, this, that, and the other." I just text back, "You are they." Whether it's a white person, a black person, a Chinese person, I just type back, "You are they." You're exactly who I'm talking about. What I'm trying to do is kill the narrative for everybody, using myself and what everyone else calls me. I'm trying to kill the narrative for young black men to know that not everybody who looks like me or calls herself a redneck dislikes you because you're black. And I'm also trying to kill the narrative.
Church. That's a bar.
For young white men saying, "Look at me, bro. Missing teeth, fucking dipping, drinking Mountain Dew. Listen to how I talk. I'm a fucking rapper, dude. And if I can do this, then you can do any motherfucking thing." And that goes for anybody, whether you look exactly like me or the polar opposite. Society manipulates the brain to weaken the heart, which kills the soul of a person. Which is why in the music video, I got bullet holes all in me. All over me. But I'm still standing up and trucking on. So I see the reaction. This guy was watching it. He was like, "Dang, he got a bunch of bullet holes in him. Is he like supposed to be a zombie or something?" No. Pretty much I'm saying it doesn't matter how many times they try to shoot me down. I'm still going to get up and keep walking towards what I believe in. What I'm walking towards and what I believe in is a form of unity that's never been created before. That's massive. The kind of unity that Elvis Presley believed in and Martin Luther King got shot for. The system may have told me my neck's too red and brainwashed a lot of people into thinking my neck's too red also. But what do they think you're too much of? Too hood, too redneck, too northern,
Yep.
too west coast.
Yep.
They want you to think you're too much of something.
Yep.
Because it's too
That
real
boy
for society.
preaching right now.
And if you're too real for society, you get too much respect.
Talk to him.
Hey, united we stand, divided we fall. As long as we all realize we all stand in different places and fall for different things.
Talk to him. That's tough. Let's talk about it. Shout out to Church. Shout out Up Church, man. I respect the hell out of this man. I really enjoy his music. I enjoy his messaging. And like I said, bro, just because we don't have the same experience, and a lot of it we do. Trust me, a lot of it we do. Doesn't mean what he's saying is not valid. Everything he's saying is valid, right? And whether you agree with how he chooses to express himself does not change the fact that what he's saying is valid. And I love what he's trying to do. He's trying to unite people by just being himself and by saying, hey, I am this way, but that doesn't mean you can't be you, and that doesn't mean we can't be together and we can't unite around that. That's dope. That's dope, man. And that last segment, man, I don't want to let it go because he was just spitting. He was just gems for days. And this video is going on pretty long, but I just wanted to respond to this. Shout out to Up Church. Shout out to the Creek Squad. Shout out to everybody who is trying to live in authentic in an unauthentic world. It's hard right now, or it's just hard in general when you're trying to be real and everybody's trying to tell you how you should be. I'm a black man in this country, and I'm told I'm too nerdy. I should be more hood. I've grown up in this situation. I was told I was either too white, or talked white, or acted white, and I was like, I can't help it. Like, shout out to my grandpa and my uncle. They just had birthday. White guys, grew up, loved them, and they loved me and they supported me, and they consider themselves rednecks. And and who are me to tell them otherwise? You know what I'm saying? I love the motherfuckers anyway. So, and same. Black uncles, black aunties, and I was considered too, in some white areas, I was too black. You too hood, bro. You gotta chill out. I'm like, bro, I'm just me. I don't know how else to be. I don't know. So it's like, it's good to find people like Church, man, who like I could just relate to on that level, because I know exactly what he's talking about, because I am who I am and he is who he is, and that's all you need to be. That's all you need to be. You're allowed to like what you like. You're allowed to love who you love, and you're allowed to be who you are unapologetically. And hopefully that inspires other people to do the same thing. And that's what we shall be moving towards together as a unit. Respect. Up Church, man. Salute to you, brother. And again, guys, we're going to continue doing these reactions. We're going to continue to have these conversations. Stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for more. And remember, love, live, laugh, enjoy today. We get tomorrow. I promise. Until next time, my friends. Peace.